Welcome to China, home to the narrowest town in the country, clinging to the cliffs above a rushing river and nestled between towering mountain walls. When autumn arrives, the grasslands glow red, like a slow-burning fire beneath the golden sky, while spring gently calls with cherry blossoms swaying in the breeze, laying a pink carpet over ancient stone roads. Like colossal walls forged by nature itself, the mountain ranges rise proudly, where every rock and layer of moss holds secrets of time and legend. They are not just landscapes. They are a call to the adventurous souls, to dreamers longing to stand atop the windy peaks and feel their own smallness in the face of a magnificent universe. And when the thin veil of cloud begins to part, the journey of discovery begins, leading you to hidden wonders, to places that, if you pass through life without visiting at least once, would be a regret too deep to forget. Yanjin, a small county located in the northern part of Yunnan province and bordering Sichuan, is known as the narrowest country in China, with its entire urban area nestled between two steep cliffs and a river running through the town. Due to the limited terrain, most houses here are stilt houses built along the riverbanks, with long and narrow shapes, forming a unique architectural strip that appears like a straight line when viewed from above. The main highway running through the town also serves as the primary living space for residents and is a vital transportation route connecting Yunnan and Sichuan, despite being very narrow and lacking traffic lights. Next to it, a cable suspension bridge spans the river, used daily by students and residents, becoming a transportation symbol closely tied to local life. Notably, Yanjin's small train station still connects efficiently to nearby areas through a tunnel system carved into the mountain behind the town. These characteristics show that despite its limited size, Yanjin maintains an orderly and stable social life, distinctly different from conventional urban environments. Guifeng Scenic Area is a sandstone mountain zone in eastern Jiangxi, known for hundreds of naturally balanced rock formations typical of Danxia landforms in China. One of the largest rocks here looks like a giant turtle facing outward, which is how the area got its name, Guifeng. These rocks formed through long-term erosion, with smooth vertical faces and straight vertical cracks, showing signs of ancient tectonic activity. Some rocks over 30 feet tall stand on a very small base point, yet have remained stable for centuries without collapsing. Several rock shapes from Guifeng were also featured in traditional Chinese ink paintings, reflecting its cultural impact in visual art. Honghai Beach is the only site in China where a large-scale population of salt-tolerant Surreal salsa plants forms a deep red coastal wetland, creating one of the world's rare, naturally uniform, monochromatic biological surfaces. Surreal salsa accumulates high salt ions and shifts color through its growth stages, from pale green to dark red, reaching peak intensity in late summer. A little-known trait is the plant's root system, which forms evenly spaced interwoven layers about 0.4 inch apart, stabilizing mudflats even during strong water level fluctuations. A recent geological survey found subsurface sediment layers containing spherical iron microparticles, believed to result from long-term anaerobic reactions between decaying biomass and metal-rich clay. In 2014, researchers recorded an anomalous patch of vegetation about 300 square feet in size that changed color 2 weeks earlier than surrounding areas despite identical soil and water conditions. This convergence of unique biological traits, unstable hydrological behavior, and abnormal geochemical signals makes Honghai Beach a singular environmental indicator system in East Asia. Tianzu Mountain is a site where a geology team from Nanjing had to change their entire measurement method due to constant slope distortion in surface data. The granite blocks are aligned vertically with edges unusually smooth, giving the impression of being sliced rather than weathered. During a 2002 survey, engineers found narrow, parallel fissures on the eastern ridge extending over 260 feet, without any disruption to the trees growing above them. This led to a theory that internal tectonic divisions may exist within the mountain, long dormant and yet to be activated. Another anomaly is that the rock at the base has lower hardness than the upper layers, contradicting common geological structure and complicating formation analysis. Geological data from this area is consistently excluded from sediment models because it does not align with any known stratigraphic patterns. These traits have made Tianzhu Mountain an exception in China's tectonic mapping. Yandang Mountains in Zhejiang are an ancient rock range with hundreds of vertical cliffs rising over 650 feet, arranged in a fan shape and leaning uniformly toward the southeast. Each stone mass has a wide base, narrow top, and vertically polished surface, an unusual geomorphological feature inconsistent with normal erosion processes. The landscape is divided into three clear zones, with a dry upper rock layer, a moist middle layer with vent-like fissures, and a lower biological zone where rare ferns grow sideways away from the main light source. Every early April, thin white mist appears only on the western cliffs, despite even temperature and humidity across the mountain. In 1992, a geophysics team recorded gravity anomalies at a fixed point for 3 consecutive days, exceeding tolerance thresholds and prompting withdrawal of their instruments. With no equipment faults detected, they suspected an unidentified subsurface structure beneath the vertical rock formation. A local report from 1968 described a dry flow line at the mountain's base, resembling a recent stream bed despite complete lack of moisture. These irregular landforms, optical distortions, and unexplained measurements make Yandang Mountains far more than a natural attraction. Tiantai Mountain in Zhejiang lies at the intersection of coastal plains and interior highlands, and is known not only for its stratified, vertical rock formations, but also for disorienting spatial experiences reported by many. In a 2012 expedition, a group of 3 climbers experienced simultaneous disorientation without physical movement, along with a sudden chill along the spine and irregular heart rates. This occurred near a narrow gorge flanked by layers of sedimentary and metamorphic rock, where ambient light patterns shifted unpredictably with every step. Motion sensors showed extreme fluctuations at certain intervals without any physical impact. A flat stone path over 40 feet long on the western slope has been repeatedly reported as a zone where compass needles spin erratically for several minutes, then stabilize on their own. Handheld navigation devices brought back from these treks often showed temporary data loss during the exact window of the anomaly. The instability in directional perception and unexpected physiological responses continue to make Tiantai Mountain a target for scientific observation, though no public explanation has yet been confirmed. The Immortal Residence Scenic Area is one of the most spectacular sandstone mountain regions in Zhejiang Province, marked by dozens of giant stone pillars over 2,600 feet tall, shaped over millions of years by constant erosion and collapse. This mountain range stands out not only for its landscape, but also for a mix of man-made and natural mysteries that continue to attract scientists and travelers. One of the strangest discoveries is an abandoned ancient stone quarry system, with deep cuts and caves buried under thick sediment layers not mentioned in any historical record. Long, flat stone surfaces show signs of artificial grinding, combined with stone tools and pottery found in the area, pointing to an unidentified ancient culture. In terms of natural phenomena, the area also records the presence of a special white mist that appears only during early May mornings, gathering around deep crevices and creating an unreal scene that reminds many of legendary deities. Local folklore says that many ancient workers mysteriously vanished inside the caves, giving rise to the haunting title, Phantom Territory. The winding stone paths, moss-covered surfaces, and rugged terrain present a serious challenge for explorers, while the mix of artificial traces, unexplained natural phenomena, and mystical tales have made the immortal resident's scenic area a destination wrapped in unresolved enigma. Baishuiyang and Yuanyang Stream in Fujian is a rare confluence zone where the river flows over a flat rock bed stretching more than 5,900 feet. The water here is so shallow during dry seasons that people can walk across it without getting above their ankles. A striking phenomenon is the white ripples that remain fixed in shape for hours, even as water flow changes. Geological studies revealed that the stone bed contains horizontal microcapillary channels that distribute water evenly without pooling. In 2004, a research team observed the water shifting direction midstream without any visible obstacle, leading to a hypothesis about underground pressure differences. This site showcases an unusual combination of monolithic topography, capillary rock structure, and ancient biological features. Yimeng Mountain is one of the few mountain ranges in eastern China where bedrock layers are exposed in uneven stepped formations, creating visibly distinct ancient strata. Its most unique feature is the presence of massive stone slabs that bend horizontally across long distances without cracking, defying the brittle nature of the host rock. At several higher elevations, large granite blocks are stacked in spiral formations, with the top stones decreasing in size and showing no signs of past movement, suggesting an unusual in-place uplift process. In 1996, an independent survey discovered a flat stone surface nearly 30 square meters wide, covered entirely in micro scratches, each about 2 centimeters long and arranged in a uniform grid with no known cause. Beyond geology, Yimeng's vegetation also displays anomalies. Light-loving species grow in tight clusters within shaded valleys instead of on open slopes. The coexistence of structurally abnormal rock formations and reversed biological distribution has made Yimeng a key interdisciplinary site for terrain and ecosystem research. Chengyang 8 Villages in northern Guangxi is a traditional Dong settlement complex set among bamboo forests, terraced fields, and roofed wooden bridges entirely built with joinery techniques that use no nails. Each village maintains wooden stilt houses with interlocking frames designed to absorb minor ground vibrations without structural cracking, a construction method now studied as a form of ancient seismic adaptation. A notable feature is that the roofed bridges, when viewed from above, form a regular, triangular grid pattern, indicating pre-planned load and wind distribution despite the absence of modern measuring tools. Anthropologists discovered remnants of a hand-built underground water network using pressurized bamboo piping to distribute spring water to each village cluster through natural elevation gradients. In a recent study, a small stream between two villages was observed changing color slightly in hourly cycles, despite having a constant source, suggesting microbial activity or a reaction with the bedrock surface. This entire area represents a blend of sophisticated vernacular engineering, terrain-responsive spatial planning, and micro-hydrological phenomena that cannot be replicated artificially, making Chengyang 8 Villages a uniquely valuable subject for cultural and environmental study in China. Juzaigu Valley is a rare limestone mountain ecosystem located in the northwest region of Sichuan province, notable for its crystal-clear lakes, tiered waterfalls, and nearly transparent mineral springs. Many lakes in the valley range from 20 to 50 feet deep, yet allow visibility to the bottom due to naturally calcium-rich sediment deposits accumulated over time. In a 2003 survey, researchers documented the spontaneous formation of a narrow 80-foot water trench overnight without any sign of landslide or bedrock shift. A sediment sample from the main lake showed an unusual presence of birefringent silica particles arranged in a flower petal pattern, a structure rarely found in stable freshwater environments. Additionally, limestone cliff surfaces in some areas exhibit concentric spherical crystallization with diameters nearing 2 inches, believed to result from intense ion exchange between the lake water and the bedrock. Historical records from 1987 describe the discovery of a cross-shaped network of fissures beneath the lake bed, but the symmetric structure remains scientifically unexplained. The diversity of aquatic features, topography, and microstructural rock characteristics makes Jiuzhaigou a benchmark site for studying interactions between water systems and carbonate substrates. Hukou Waterfall is the only point along the Yellow River where the massive water flow narrows to under 100 feet before plunging into a deep stone basin, forming a narrow but extremely powerful vertical drop. Unlike typical waterfalls with plunge pools, Hukou's base is shaped like an open trough, causing the falling water to be drawn into a tilted spiral path, forming a vertical vortex confirmed in a 2015 flow study. Rock samples taken 7 feet into the cliff revealed concentric, horseshoe-shaped grain patterns aligned with the spiral axis of the current, a rare natural imprint formed only under high, steady pressure. Whereas most waterfalls are formed by subsidence of riverbeds, Huku resulted from uneven uplift of two geological layers, forcing the river's surface into a narrow gap and down like a tilted spout. The vertical spiral flow and ancient deformation markers make Huku one of the most mechanically unique waterfalls in the entire Yellow River system. Huanglong is one of the few places on Earth where natural limestone terraces cascade down the mountainside, forming over 3,000 small interconnected pools arranged in an almost symmetrical structure. Each pool displays a different color, ranging from blue and green to pale yellow, due to trace mineral concentrations and the reflectivity of the unique limestone base. A rare event was recorded in 2006 when a 120-foot section of pools suddenly developed elliptical reverse-rotating whirlpools that lasted over 4 hours without any clear external cause. Geological samples from the area show thin limestone layers under 1 inch thick, alternating with aragonite, a highly pH-sensitive mineral, indicating a rapid response to micro-changes in the water chemistry. This combination of stable topographic formation and volatile chemical behavior has made Huanglong a subject of long-term research in geology and hydrology. More than just China's northernmost point, Arctic Village is the only location in the country where auroras have been officially recorded using professional spectrographic instruments. The terrain consists of rounded low hills and permafrost zones, with an ancient granite belt estimated to be over 500 million years old. A rare natural formation in this area is a group of pine trees growing in an evenly spaced circle, each about 26 feet apart, with no scientific explanation so far. In a 1996 survey, over 1 square mile of land was found to contain surface levels of naturally occurring neodymium, a rare element not typically present in non-volcanic zones. Many large boulders in the area show wave-like erosion patterns, which match ancient flow lines charted in geological maps from the 1980s. Additionally, a nearly 2-mile-long natural graphite belt here was once evaluated for aerospace use, but remained untapped due to its isolation. Arctic Village contains many geologically unique phenomena, making it an exceptionally rare site for scientific exploration. Canis Lake is a deep water body nestled within the taiga forests of Xinjiang, known for its color-changing waters and exceptional depth compared to other naturally formed lakes in the Eurasian interior. Beneath the calm surface, scientists recorded depths nearing 620 feet, and during a 1985 survey, depth measuring instruments experienced 20 minutes of unexplained interference at the lake's center. More strangely, the lakebed structure revealed 3 misaligned substrata, a rare configuration found only in basins formed by combined geological sliding and glacial infill. A real-life mystery from the 20th century describes eyewitnesses claiming to see a large object briefly surfacing before disappearing, though sonar scans have yet to identify any large organisms in the lake. Sediment samples from the northern shore contained hollow, spherical silica particles typically found in high-temperature environments, raising questions about past geothermal activity. Canis Lake is not only a rare scenic site on the desert's edge, but also a convergence point for unresolved geological anomalies. Diaoshuilo Waterfall is the only waterfall in China directly formed from the outflow of a volcanic lake, where water from Jingpo Lake plunges over a basalt cliff in a nearly perfect arc about 66 feet high. A little-known detail is that the waterfall's cliff is composed of tightly packed hexagonal basalt columns, yet the central drop zone contains evenly spaced gaps about 1.6 feet apart, acting as natural pressure release channels when flow exceeds the limit. Rock from the second tier of the cliff showed stretched olivine crystals, indicating prolonged vibration of the bedrock, possibly remnants of ancient magma-induced seismic activity. A puzzling event in 1998 involved the entire waterfall turning gray for 9 hours without upstream sediment changes, abruptly ending without trace. The stone surface near the waterline also features circular corrosion marks, each about 12 feet in circumference, never documented at other waterfalls in the region. With its unique rock structure, signs of ancient seismic shifts and rare hydraulic behaviors, Dao Shuilu serves as a key site for studying interactions between waterfall systems and cooled volcanic substrates. Zhangyi Dangxia Geopark in Gansu is a rare colored rock landscape formed through millions of years of sedimentation and tectonic uplift. The mountain ranges here display vividly stratified colors such as red, yellow, orange, and green, creating continuous wave-like bands across sandstone surfaces that stretch for dozens of miles. A lesser-known fact is that the microstructure of the rocks varies, causing light to reflect differently throughout the day and altering the visibility of the colors. During a 1999 survey, Chinese geologists discovered a rock segment with a nearly perfect hexagonal cross-section about 11 feet long, with no indication of mechanical intervention. Another unusual feature is that 3 areas on the main slope contain parallel cracks, spaced evenly at about 4 feet apart, suggesting a yet unexplained natural mechanical effect. Moreover, sediment samples collected from the 5th layer of the eastern cliff revealed the rare mineral florensite, which typically forms only under highly specific pressure deformation conditions. In 2011, an independent team recorded a structural shift in crystal patterns on the western rock face, but this phenomenon was not observed in subsequent surveys. Shailen Stone Forest is one of the most prominent limestone formations in Asia, where thousands of sharp vertical stone pillars rise from the ground and extend across nearly 190 square miles. What sets it apart is that the stone columns are not randomly distributed, but grouped in linear patterns that align with ancient fault lines identified in 1984 surveys. A rare event recorded in 2010 involved a 60-foot crack cutting through two opposing stone clusters, with its edges lined by an ultra-thin dolomite layer only 0.04 inches thick, indicating subtle subterranean chemical shifts. Beyond their dramatic shape, several pillars over 90 feet tall feature ultra-smooth cross-sections with linear light reflection, a surface quality typically achieved only by artificial polishing. These elements make Shilin not only a striking geomorphological site, but also a rare model for structural geological analysis. Tucked between steep mountain ranges, the Nujiang Grand Canyon ranks among the deepest and longest gorges in Asia, where the New River carves through the land in sharply irregular meanders, forming an unusually fragmented terrain. What sets it apart is the presence of stratified fault lines spaced evenly about 18 feet apart along the canyon walls, indicating episodic tectonic uplift identified by an international research team in 1997. A rock sample from near the canyon floor revealed black basalt embedded within fluvial sediment, an extremely rare geological combination not documented outside this area. Unlike canyons shaped purely by erosion, Nujiang exhibits a combination of tectonic movement, hydraulic dynamics, and rare sedimentary processes almost unmatched elsewhere. Untouched is a rocky promontory extending into Lake Tai, resembling the head of a giant turtle, and it concentrates rare shoreline landform characteristics found in eastern China. The area is shaped by ancient bedrock eroded slowly over time, forming round boulders between 6 and 12 feet in diameter, arranged in a curved line along the water's edge. One key feature is the directional water pressure from the lake, which wears down exposed rocks evenly without breaking them, resulting in a clear, turtle-shaped formation visible from above. A 2011 geological study documented clusters of rounded quartz granules formed by long-term deposition under constant hydraulic pressure. A lesser-known fact is that the Turtle Rock Zone also hosts the highest concentration of ancient microorganisms around the lake, with several species showing cellular resistance to light metal ions and isolated from moss layers growing in stone fissures. A biological survey archived in the 1980s found genetic similarities between bacteria here and those from ancient groundwater sources in western Anhui province. With its unusual landform structure, stable mineral deposition, and the presence of rare ancestral microbes, untouched offers significant potential for cross-regional geological and microbial research. Unlike typical rice terraces, Longji was constructed entirely on uneven stone slopes with continuously shifting gradients, resulting in non-repeating curves where each plot functions as a unique micro-landform. During terrain analysis, scientists discovered an unusual technique at the highest points: slate rock layers interleaved with thin soil to stabilize water retention on ultra-thin topsoil, a method undocumented in ancient agricultural records. In 2009, satellite imagery revealed a dual spiral pattern over 100 feet wide in a terrace corner, invisible from ground level, raising questions about traditional geometric spatial planning. The fusion of traditional farming techniques with micro-scale hydrological anomalies makes Longji a rare model of natural-human interaction in both agronomy and terrain studies. Located deep within the central region of Shanxi, Yunqiu Mountain stands out with its natural rock platforms, terraces, and cliff faces forming near-symmetrical geological shapes rarely found in inland mountain systems. In 2004, an unusual feature was discovered at 3 main cliff faces, where ultra-thin vertical grooves measuring only 0.008 inch wide extended continuously over 30 feet, without signs of erosion or weathering. In rock cavities more than 60 feet above the base, archaeologists found a line of spherical stones with consistent diameters of about 5 inches arranged east-northeast to west-southwest, with no clear explanation of origin or purpose. Stratigraphic analysis revealed 7 layers of hard rock interwoven with soft sediment, forming an imbalanced, stacked block structure that may slowly shift over time. One mineral sample from the middle layer contained a mixture of zeolite and elite, a chemically unstable pairing in dry climates that later triggered vertical surface fracturing. Yunqiu is now regarded as a valuable site for deep geological studies and high-grade structural stability analysis. Baishishan Mountain is one of the rare locations in northern China where pure white quartzite formations stretch in uplifted dome structures, forming vertical cliffs hundreds of feet tall with near-uniform brightness from base to summit. Its rock strata feature interlayers of quartzite and granular quartz with high hardness and exceptional erosion resistance, preventing the slopes from wearing down like typical mountain surfaces. A 2013 geological survey discovered a fissure over 250 feet long along the main cliff, with segments as narrow as 0.3 inch yet penetrating up to 9 feet deep, attributed to internal stress rather than seismic activity. Linear wave-like markings were observed on flat rock surfaces around 5,200 feet elevation, indicating ancient sediment flows once crossed the mountain summit before the uplift occurred. In 2006, an independent research team reported that rocks on the eastern slope emitted faint white fluorescence under strong ultraviolet light, suggesting the presence of unidentified trace minerals. Core drilling revealed a 2-inch thick fossil soil layer trapped between two quartzite beds, a rare stratigraphic feature typically formed after extended plant deposition in a stable environment. These findings establish Baishishan as not only a scenic landmark, but also a high-value open stratigraphic record for geological study. Wunu Mountain is an isolated rock peak near the Yalu River, known for its near-symmetrical trapezoidal shape and steep cliffs on 3 sides that resemble a natural fortress. What makes this site exceptional is the presence of an ancient city ruin on the summit, identified as a military outpost of the ancient Goguryeo kingdom. Archaeological records show that many stone walls were built seamlessly into the mountain's natural contours, with some interlocked stones featuring rare diagonal grooves. During a 2002 excavation, a shard of pottery with an unusual spiral symbol was found within a layer of black ash, estimated to date back to the 3rd century. Another intriguing element is a series of circular pits, each about 1 foot in diameter, arranged in a stretched triangular formation along one slope, an alignment that remains unexplained. A recent geological study confirmed the presence of a hemispherical rock section with unusually high magnetic properties at the southern summit, though no underlying metal was detected. Tianshan National Park is a rugged granite mountain zone featuring naturally terraced terrain, where towering rock formations interlace with ancient pine forests to form a rare radial fault network in eastern China. At the center of the park stands a cylindrical granite block about 62 feet tall, with a single vertical groove nearly 3 feet deep, running perfectly north-south. A surprising alignment also found in fracture lines across 4 nearby peaks. A rock sample from the southeastern cliff revealed surface discoloration caused by epidote, a mineral typically forming under high heat and moisture conditions rarely present in temperate dry regions. Several massive boulders show signs of being slightly displaced from their base rock, forming 2-foot-wide gaps, without surface slip marks, suggesting deep internal tectonic pressure rather than sudden impact. During a 2007 survey, researchers discovered a natural stone trench over 80 feet long, its floor marked by uniformly serrated cuts resembling mechanical drilling, yet no tool marks or human activity were found. The convergence of ancient forest cover, unique granite structures, and subtle tectonic movement indicators has positioned Tianshan as a reference site for studying granite morphology in mid-stability geological zones. Jingpo Lake is a large freshwater body formed from a collapsed volcanic crater where the mirror-like surface reflects basaltic ridges and forms a fan-shaped basin with uneven depth and radial underwater contours. A unique feature is the lakebed's network of fissures reaching depths of up to 148 feet interspersed with ancient sedimentary rock, which disrupts convective flow and skews water level measurements in multiple surveys. During a 1990 expedition, divers reported a massive arch-shaped stone formation with serrated fractures at the bottom, showing no signs of artificial shaping or normal seismic activity. Sediment analysis found irregular clusters of pyroxene particles, typically formed under partially active volcanic conditions. Notably, southern lakeshore rock layers contain ancient hydrological marks, parallel wave-like grooves etched into solid rock, indicating a rapid cycle of high flow and sudden retreat, rarely seen in closed basin lakes. These geological anomalies, signs of residual volcanic activity, and abnormal hydraulic patterns, have made Jingpo Lake one of the most enigmatic crater lakes in Northeast Asia. The Tangwang River Scenic Area is a rare combination of granite landforms and coniferous forest, where massive naturally shaped boulders are scattered across ancient alluvial plains, forming a non-repeating geological array. Many of these boulders feature smooth surfaces and near right angles without human modification, caused by uneven exfoliation weathering triggered by centuries of subsurface temperature fluctuations. A 2004 survey recorded 7 cubic granite blocks, each with sides about 6 feet long, aligned diagonally at roughly 23 degrees from the river, an orientation with no current scientific explanation. Core samples showed quartz content exceeding 70%, with microfractures along crystal axes, indicating the rock had experienced upward stress pressure. Multiple locations also revealed the intersection of ancient fractures and deep tree roots, forming hybrid biogeological structures rarely found in temperate mountain forests. With its multi-layered characteristics from terrain to material structure, Tangwang offers a prime case study of deep weathering processes intertwined with natural biological influence. Located on the northeastern border of China, Hutu Tourist Scenic Area is known for its preserved concrete fortifications from the 20th century, partially underground, and connected by over 3 miles of tunnels. The site was built on rugged limestone terrain, where rock layers repeat at nearly exact 23-foot intervals, which is highly unusual in non-volcanic regions. Some surface areas show circular sinkholes with uniform diameters of about 9 feet, believed to result from undocumented hidden tunnels. In 2002, researchers noted that the clay near fort walls had unusually high electrical conductivity and could block short-range radio signals. One intriguing real story concerns a sealed entrance from 1945 that has never been reopened, despite numerous formal proposals. Beyond its fortifications, Hutu also features a unique landscape of low hills and sunken basins that form a multi-layered ecosystem not yet developed for tourism. The combination of historical value, complex underground structures, and geological anomalies makes this a rare destination for exploration and scientific research. As the only place in China where recent lava flows have created a stable freshwater lake system with no inlets or outlets, Wudalianshi Geopark challenges conventional ideas of land formation. These lakes are not interconnected, yet they maintain the same water level year-round, despite having no visible water sources. Across basalt surfaces, perfectly square-shaped cracks form grid patterns that have yet to be explained by modern geology. The hollow lava tubes beneath the surface also display near-total sound absorption, with no echo produced when objects are dropped inside. An exposed sediment layer between two lava flows is thought to result from a seawater intrusion, yet no marine fossils have been found, sparking long-term debate. Some basalt formations appear bent into arch shapes without fracturing, contradicting the typical brittle behavior of such rock. This accumulation of unexplained phenomena and unresolved real events makes Wudalianshi one of China's most mysterious geoparks. Rime Island lies along the Songhua River and is known for its rare vapor crystallization process that coats the landscape in thick white rime without snowfall or rain. Unlike other regions, the rime here forms due to river humidity rising and colliding with cold air at low elevation, creating a horizontal condensation structure unique to this microclimate. A 2003 study measured average rime thickness at 6 inches along the island's core, stretching over 980 feet across tree-lined riverbanks. A little-known fact is that the rime surface here contains trace amounts of mineral salts, traced to evaporation from riverbank sediment layers affected by warm currents. This explains why the rime has high surface adhesion and spreads in a fan-shaped pattern, unlike the scattered flake formations seen elsewhere. That same survey discovered a closed-loop rime formation over 65 feet wide with no snowfall or human intervention, sparking debate in climate research circles. With its combined hydrological airflow dynamics, low elevation landform, and stable river direction, Rime Island is one of the few locations where rime appears cyclically and predictably each year. Haohe is an ancient canal encircling downtown Nantong, built during the Ming Dynasty and still preserving its closed-loop structure of about 6 miles today. Despite its architectural and historical value, Haohe remains largely absent from international media platforms, with most of its exposure coming from user-generated content on social networks. In 2019, a viral video showing a perfectly mirrored reflection of old tilted buildings on Haohe's still water was mistaken for CGI due to its surreal symmetry. A Japanese film crew later visited the site to verify the scene and confirmed that no visual manipulation was involved, sparking renewed interest in the canal among documentary filmmakers. The canal has also been featured in documentaries about slow urbanization, where dozens of old homes still have doors opening directly to the water, reflecting traditional living customs. However, weak promotional efforts and lack of international positioning have kept Haohe off the cultural tourism radar in modern China. With its visual strength and authenticity, Haohe holds strong potential as a filming location and a standalone historical urban experience beyond mainstream tourism. Qinhu Lake in Jiangsu Province is a vast wetland area that combines shallow lake waters with reed forest systems, notable for preserving a semi-natural ecosystem rare in the lower Yangtze River basin. Covering around 15 square miles, it is home to over 120 migratory bird species, many of which are listed for protection in China. In 1996, an aquatic survey team discovered a quiet water zone within the lake containing spiraled green algae never before recorded in biological literature, raising questions about a possible relic aquatic plant species from a transitional climate phase. The lake's landscape is bordered by layers of naturally growing aquatic plants such as hornwort, duckweed, and tiered reeds, forming clearly separated habitats from the center to the edges. A lesser-known fact is that the lake's eastern section shows traces of aligned swamp wooden stakes believed to be the base of an unidentified temporary structure, sparking debate in regional archaeology. Today, Qinhu Lake serves as both a provincial ecological reserve and a long-term research site for integrated models of species protection and controlled ecotourism. The intersection of unexplored biological data, transitional aquatic systems, and signs of ancient human activity makes Qinhu a multi-layered site far beyond an ordinary scenic destination. Yunlong Lake is located in Shuzhou, Jiangsu Province, formed between limestone mountain ranges, covering an area of about 11 square miles and enclosed by fan-shaped terrain. Its landscape stands out for the stark contrast between the still, clear water and steep surrounding cliffs, creating a vertical visual separation of space. A rare feature here is the presence of underground water channels beneath the lake bed, maintaining slow flow that prevents sediment buildup, a natural mechanism typically found in lakes of ancient river origin. In 2002, a geological survey uncovered arc-shaped fissures beneath the lake, along with shards of ancient pottery near the northern rock zone, raising questions about a former lakeside settlement prior to terrain shifts. Yunlong Lake now includes clearly zoned footpaths, allowing visitors to observe geological features without disturbing the underwater ecosystem. With its naturally formed basin, unresolved archaeological evidence, and sharply contrasting scenery, Yunlong Lake serves as more than a scenic site. It is a living archive for cross-disciplinary research. Hongze Lake is a vast inland body of water in Jiangsu province, yet it displays coastal-like geomorphology, with its surface currents reversing against prevailing local winds for 2 months each year. This phenomenon has been recorded since the 1980s, but no accurate model has yet fully explained the flow coordination within the lake. The landscape shifts slightly year by year. Small land strips, usually 40 to 60 feet long, appear and vanish within weeks, leaving fine silt trails as if there had been shallow foundations. In 1961, a hydraulic survey team dredged a 300-foot stone wall beneath the lake bed, built with ancient lime mortar but showing no entrance or foundation marks, leading to speculation that it could be a remnant of a submerged levee system from a collapsed shoreline. The lake's wetland vegetation changes with water levels, most visibly in layered reed beds that stack annually, providing clear, chronological data on environmental cycles spanning over 20 years. With its reversed flow pattern, undocumented submerged structures, and layered ecological rhythms, Hongze Lake remains an open field for unexplored scientific and historical discovery. Xixi National Wetland Park is located in the western part of Hangzhou and is China's first national-level urban wetland park, covering about 4 square miles and combining slow-flowing water, ancient canals, and largely untouched native vegetation. Remarkably, there is no straight path longer than 1 mile within the entire park. All water routes and walkways follow a zigzag fishbone layout, proven to match the mechanics of natural groundwater regulation. In a 2004 geological study, bottom sediment was found to contain silica ash remnants, believed to be from a centuries-old forest fire, suggesting the area once underwent extreme thermal conditions. The landscape blends reeds, swamp trees, duckweed, and stagnant water zones into discrete ecological pockets, ideal for studying wetland regeneration. A section of water in the east repeatedly shows spiral blue-green algae blooms timed precisely with the full moon cycle once per year, a phenomenon not yet fully explained biologically. With its strange circulatory layout, ancient geological traces, and cyclic biological behavior, Jixi stands as one of the most distinctive urban wetlands in mainland China. Qiandao Lake in Zhejiang is a man-made lake covering approximately 220 square miles, known for its irregular spread of over 1,000 floating islands. Although the lake's surface appears calm and clear in the morning, certain zones consistently distort depth perception, causing nearby observers to experience slight island shifts or warped outlines. In a 2001 dive expedition, a professional team withdrew after just over 10 minutes, reporting disorientation, fingertip numbness, and depth confusion, despite stable vital signs. Strikingly, footage from the dive recorded what appeared to be a mirrored island structure beneath the surface, misaligned from the visible landform above. This visual anomaly could not be replicated in a 2003 follow-up using the same equipment and coordinates. Furthermore, midwater organisms sampled from the area were found with unusual retinal pigment intensity, nearly double the species norm, with no clear cause identified. The combination of unstable imagery, uneven optical impact, and unpredictable biological response has excluded this lake from most open-access research programs. Qiandao Lake, though artificial in origin, remains one of the most visually and biologically puzzling closed water systems in China. At Yunhe Terraced Fields, a rare biological phenomenon once caused a research team from the Shanghai Institute of Ecology to halt their study midway. During a 2015 soil sampling mission, they discovered a moss layer interwoven with rice roots, forming a living network capable of sustaining humidity and metabolic exchange for several days without irrigation. Strangely, the moss species had never been classified, and once samples were removed from the field, the rice roots detached from the moss within hours, making further analysis impossible. Scientists suspected the system only functioned within its native soil and broke down when the environment was altered. An independent survey also found microscopic spheres with gelatinous membranes in the soil, capable of shielding microbes from oxidation over extended periods. These findings remain unexplained and are currently listed under special biological observation. Today, the area is under limited access, with only distant observation permitted to protect the delicate natural balance in the terraced soil layers. Tianzhuhai Scenic Area in Anhui Province is a vast, mountainous forest zone located near the boundary between eastern and central China, distinguished by sharp peaks and dense vegetation that extends from the valley base to the upper ridges. The landscape here is strongly layered, with vertical rock walls alternating with deep gorges, forming natural enclosures that are difficult to access from the outside. Botanists have identified several ancient gymnosperm species in the area, including some once thought extinct, preserved thanks to the region's unusually stable moisture and temperature conditions over centuries. A frequently observed anomaly is the spiral movement of low-lying fog within the mountain crevices, believed to result from narrow air pressure variations between cliff edges rather than from wind or temperature changes. In 2011, a geological expedition found rock surfaces with concentric twist-like formations, differing entirely from the surrounding stratigraphy. Beyond its natural uniqueness, this area is historically noted as a former refuge for hermits who chose the site for its inaccessibility and abundant groundwater from fractured rock systems. With its isolated topography, ancient biological diversity, and microclimatic behaviors that remain impossible to replicate artificially, Tianzhuhai has become a focus of special interest for both biologists and geologists in recent years. Wanfo Lake is located within a closed basin in Anhui and has repeatedly forced research teams to abandon their surveys due to anomalies in its midwater structure. In 2009, multispectral sensors detected a highly light-obstructive layer at average depth, which completely disrupted imaging beneath it, even though the lake's surface was still and clear. The anomaly did not follow any known cycle and vanished within hours, making pattern recognition impossible. During sediment collection, geologists found layers of fine silt containing altered microcrystalline iron and streaks of undecomposed organic material, suggesting unknown subsurface chemical activity. Notably, during a mild color shift in the water, plankton samples showed cell pigment concentrations doubling within an hour, despite no changes in light or temperature. Since then, Wanfo Lake has been listed as a high-priority observation site in Chinese limnological studies, as its unstable behavior disqualifies it from inclusion in standard hydrological baselines. Balihe Scenic Area is located in northern Anhui Province and is known for its interconnected river and lake system, where water flows through natural channels without mechanical intervention. A notable geographic feature is the symmetrical distribution of water surfaces and vegetation, creating nearly mirrored landscapes when viewed from moderate elevation. The area's natural beauty lies in the calm, clear lake surfaces and dense reed fields that form sharp transitions between land and water without constructed barriers. A 2006 hydrological survey recorded at least 3 zones where water flow speed changed abruptly at the same elevation, without slope or obstruction, suggesting the presence of hidden underwater sink points. Interestingly, many small land patches here show unusually high soil compaction levels, yet support stable surface vegetation throughout the year. A striking contrast is seen in the circular clusters of dense plants next to entirely open water areas at very close range, drawing attention from field biology researchers. Additionally, at least 2 parts of the lake show brief watercolor changes in early summer for 5 to 10 minutes daily, a phenomenon documented over multiple years without a known cause, adding to the area's mystery. Taimu Mountain in Fujian Province is an ancient granite massif with highly fragmented terrain featuring steep rock spires and naturally formed hollow caves created through long-term vertical erosion. Many of the peaks display unusual shapes with tilted stone blocks stacked precariously, giving an optical sense of imbalance when viewed from a distance. A documented physical phenomenon includes continuous vapor emission from narrow crevices unrelated to ambient temperature, believed to be caused by forced evaporation from capillary systems within the underground rock. Surveys show that the rock's crystal structure here has an abnormally high micrograin misalignment rate, contributing to complex surface energy absorption and redistribution. Historical records mention hidden cave entrances that only become visible from specific angles due to topographic curvature, a phenomenon not yet fully explained. The landscape consists of irregularly shaped boulders, natural openings, and deep rock layers with deformation, making this site a valuable field study area for geology and geophysical research. Wuyuan Jiangwan Scenic Area in Jiangxi is a distinctive landscape where low hills, shallow streams, and terraced fields coexist in an asymmetrical yet balanced layout. A rare phenomenon here is that many water flows spread laterally over the ground, instead of following the natural slope, forming spontaneous divisions without human influence. In 2002, geologists measured rhythmic water pulses at 7-minute intervals, without detecting any mechanical vibration nearby, suggesting the presence of deep subsurface circulation. In the mid-soil layer, fossilized pollen with irregular shapes was found, unmatched by any known plant species in East Asia. The soil surface has a high proportion of altered clay that retains moisture while maintaining stable texture, allowing dry ground cover that does not become slippery. At 3 separate locations, researchers observed small flashes of light on the water surface at noon without the presence of reflective materials. These features, including asymmetric terrain, periodic water pulses, and unusual soil composition, make the area a rare subject of interdisciplinary study in hydrology, biology, and soil dynamics. As one of the few locations in China where hundreds of dome-shaped peaks are packed tightly without following any geological alignment, Sanbaishan has become a subject of scientific debate due to its asymmetric landform. The peaks appear similar in shape, but lean in various directions, causing uneven stratification despite having the same geological origin. Inside cliff walls, deep fractures stretch for dozens of feet in repeating zigzag patterns, a formation not seen in comparable mountain systems. Some smooth and flat rock surfaces, found more than 300 feet high, show no moss or signs of erosion, despite having no clear access route. During extended dry seasons, continuous dripping has been observed from vertical cracks with no confirmed water source above or underground. Valleys between peaks contain high-density red clay believed to be remnants of ancient compressed material, though this theory remains unproven. Mingyue Mountain in Jiangxi is known for its ancient granite terrain and layered primary forest ecosystem rising from low to high elevations. The area features multi-level waterfalls, exposed mineral springs, and steep rock walls, creating a unique landscape for geological observation. Its biodiversity includes orchids, ferns, lichens, and broadleaf trees, along with some native animal species adapted to the subtropical temperate transition zone. Historically, the mountain was home to scholars and monks during the Song dynasty, with stone carvings and remains of ancient structures still present. In addition, mountain streams here have high pH levels and natural mineral content, which are believed to support skin recovery and are used for therapeutic purposes. Nowhere else in Jiangxi shows such extreme terrain contrast as Dajue Mountain, where one slope is fractured by deep vertical cuts, while the opposite side remains smooth, as if precisely carved. On the eastern slope, large granite surfaces reflect light unusually and show parallel scratches spaced about 5 centimeters apart, with no known tool marks matching the pattern. Three times over the past 20 years, spontaneous slab detachment has occurred. Huge stone blocks separated from their base with clean cuts, absent of seismic activity or human intervention. Several V-shaped grooves stretch over 10 meters across boulders near the summit, yet they connect to no cracks or erosion paths, raising questions about internal forces. In 2001, a local survey team observed circular dew rings about 1 meter wide, forming on bare rock without humidity or cool air present. At elevations above 300 meters, dense patches of ferns and shrubs grow in unexpected clusters, defying typical ecological patterns. The complete asymmetry of its slopes, spontaneous rock separations, and unclassified surface markings make Daju Mountain an unresolved geological case. Unlike most large inland lakes in China formed by natural flow or valley depression, Nancy Lake is notable for being a compound lake system with a complex bottom structure divided into horizontal bands, believed to result from interrupted sedimentation over thousands of years. Though its surface is wide, the lakebed is not flat, featuring parallel bottom ridges 3 to 5 feet deep, forming a wave-like pattern not observed in other major freshwater lakes in the region. One of its most puzzling traits is the presence of stagnant water zones with low biological activity lying directly beside highly active areas without any clear difference in depth or substrate. In 2007, researchers recorded a localized phase shift event. A water patch nearly 500 square meters in size turned cloudy within hours without disturbance from sediment, flow, or biological activity. Although Nancy Lake is widely used for agriculture and irrigation, large sections remain unexplored due to the complex underwater topography, making it a water body full of unresolved anomalies. The Yellow River Estuary Ecotourism Area in Shandong is a young delta region with one of the fastest sediment deposition rates in Asia, where the Yellow River flows into the sea and creates a unique brackish ecosystem. The area includes mangroves, coastal marshes, and seasonal wetlands that serve as breeding and sheltering grounds for hundreds of migratory bird and aquatic species. Vegetation like reeds and saltgrass changes color seasonally, forming dynamic natural landscapes. A notable phenomenon is the annual expansion of mudflats by hundreds of acres, forming fan-shaped land patterns visible from above. The area's history is tied to large-scale salt soil reclamation and long-term settlement by fishing communities relying on coastal development. During migration season, tens of thousands of birds fly in formation, and their movements combined with sunlight reflected from the water create a rare natural display. This is a key ecological zone representing strong river-sea interaction and is highly valued by scientists for its environmental and geographic transformation. Longtan Grand Canyon in Henan is one of the rare, deep stratified gorges where sedimentary rock layers are exposed in a continuous sequence stretching over 300 meters, offering a direct view into uninterrupted tectonic cycles across millions of years. The rock layers here are not only clearly bounded, but also evenly spaced at nearly 25 centimeters apart, forming a near-perfect geological wall. Certain narrow sections, opposing canyon walls, match almost exactly in shape, suggesting a clean, vertical fracture followed by minimal lateral displacement. The canyon's exceptional stratigraphic uniformity, reversed flow features, and unexplained color shifts make Longtan a uniquely puzzling landform in inland China's terrain system. Baligu Scenic Area in Henan is a limestone valley about 2 miles long, known for its steep cliffs rising hundreds of feet and a year-round flowing stream and waterfall system. The rock layers show clear erosion features such as deep grooves, stone pillars, and smooth surfaces shaped by long-term water flow, forming visible classic geological structures. With its deep valley terrain, stable hydrology, and long-standing cultural heritage, Baligu attracts visitors interested in both nature and geological research. Dongjiang Lake in Hunan Province is not just an ordinary freshwater lake, but a convergence point of complex underground water structures and rare visual phenomena. Surrounded by towering limestone cliffs and interwoven dense forests, the lake forms a natural depression, almost isolated from the external environment. Every early morning, thin silver mist rises steadily from the still lake surface, creating a phenomenon documented as surface respiration, for which no scientific explanation has been confirmed. In 2004, during a hydrological survey, researchers observed gentle water level fluctuations at 9-minute intervals that could not be linked to wind, waves, or surface activity. The convergence of enclosed terrain, unstable subsurface movements, and false visual reflections makes Dongjiang Lake a place both elusive and captivating to scientific exploration. Dahang Grand Canyon is a narrow, trench-shaped gorge located within a massive karst formation in Hunan Province, descending over 980 feet deep and stretching for miles through fractured bedrock. The most prominent anomaly is the presence of more than 40 vertical rock slits, each about 4 feet wide and evenly spaced along an east-west axis, a distribution not observed in any other karst canyon in China. A 2017 study revealed that rock layers 230 feet beneath the canyon floor contain unusually low levels of natural radiation, suggesting isolated formation conditions unrelated to standard tectonic processes. An egg-shaped cavity, about 19 feet long, with a polished outer shell, was found embedded sideways within a sheer cliff face, with no confirmed natural or artificial origin. These scattered yet consistently unusual findings mark Dahang Grand Canyon as a geologically promising site still lacking clear explanations. Nanwan Crocodile Mountain sits at the southern tip of Weizhou Island and is distinguished by exposed, fan-shaped layers of ancient volcanic rock rarely found along China's coastal zones. Unlike typical coastal ridges, this mountain features concentric rock fissures that periodically release murky, warm water, making the surface brittle and coated with silvery white crusts. In 2016, a geological team recorded temperature discrepancies of up to 18 degrees Celsius between bedrock points less than 5 meters apart, which could not be explained by external environmental factors. Notably, several large rock surfaces displayed uniform diagonal erosion patterns, yet no wave or rainfall impact was observed during extended monitoring. These clues suggest that although volcanic activity has ceased, a latent geodynamic force may still linger beneath Nanwan Crocodile Mountain, making it one of the few semi-active geological mysteries along China's southern coast. Hidden among the stratified rocky ridges of western Yunnan, Wangxian Valley is marked by fractured cliffs that appear split into layers, with vertical fissures so symmetrical they seem separated by an unknown external force. A rare phenomenon occurs during dry months, where haze rises from certain rock surfaces despite no heat, moisture, or combustion source in the vicinity. In one documented case, a survey team recorded minor air pressure deviations near cliff cracks, though no equipment could identify the source, suggesting the possible presence of micro gas flows from underground. The rock's microcrystalline structure reacts unusually to weight, causing a subtle sinking sensation followed by slight rebound when pressure is applied near the cliff edge. This is also the only known location in Yunnan where scale-shaped stones were found to refract light in shifting directions, altering color tones depending on viewing angle. These characteristics make the valley strikingly different and preserve its air of mystery despite repeated modern investigations. Pujahe lies among the limestone mountains of southeastern Yunnan, where hundreds of cone-shaped peaks rise from the water, forming a natural maze of rock and lake that has made full surveys difficult for decades. Beneath the lakes, the bedrock displays unusually layered structures with deep, spiral-shaped fractures instead of the typical straight fault lines. During the initial survey, researchers discovered massive concentric circles on the lake bed, some tens of meters wide, unrelated to surface water flow or biological activity. Sediment samples from these circles showed disrupted micro-organic bonds, suggesting the presence of slow but sustained subsurface mechanical movement. One of the most puzzling features is the consistent nighttime surface color shift in the lake, despite its complete isolation from external water systems. In some lakeside limestone sections, tapping causes a repeating echo 3 times, yet the feedback source remains undetected, leading to hypotheses of hidden hollow spaces below. The unpredictable terrain, unexplained physical patterns, and isolation have made Pujahe a top priority for China's covert geological research programs. Hidden among steep ridges in southeastern Tibet, the Songkuo Lake is a completely isolated inland body of water where all access routes are blocked by fractured terrain and dangerously sloped rock faces. In an independent survey, researchers discovered that the lake naturally separates into 3 distinct layers by density and conductivity, despite lacking any visible inflow or outflow. At the lake's center stands a rocky island whose structure does not match surrounding formations, and its surface displays a metallic sheen at low-angle reflection, an effect absent in any other sample nearby. In 2019, underwater sensors recorded pressure pulses every 9 minutes over several hours, with no connection to seismic or atmospheric events. Around the island, a strange sequence was observed. Gas bubbles rose at the same time the water briefly changed color, yet no biological or chemical agents were identified. Sediment samples showed unusually high concentrations of vanadium, molybdenum, and manganese, with signs of non-natural redistribution within layers. The convergence of closed hydrology, anomalous geology, and unexplained cyclical shifts has placed Basongchuo Lake on the International Scientific Watch List for high-priority anomaly studies. At a narrow section of Plateau Basin in Shanxi, the Yellow River abruptly bends into a near-perfect loop without any visible terrain barrier forcing the shift, forming Qiankun Bay, a hydrological phenomenon that defies the natural logic of river flow. In long-term satellite image analysis, researchers observed that water flow at this bend does not distribute evenly, but concentrates energy on one side, with the outer edge moving 3 times faster than the inner, a pressure imbalance never seen in bends of similar curvature. Bedrock beneath the curve shows serrated fractures layered counterclockwise, suggesting the flow may have reversed direction historically. During a 2018 survey, magnetic sensors recorded intermittent pulses lasting 12 to 15 seconds at the exact center of the bend, repeating continuously over 4 hours with no identifiable environmental interference. Sediment layers near the bank contain a unique flat clay particle aligned almost perfectly parallel within a 5-meter radius, a structural pattern typically found in controlled artificial flow impact zones. When geologists attempted to simulate the river's path using gravity and terrain pressure alone, no model could recreate the near-circular orbit. These mismatched data and structural anomalies have made Qiankun Bay a focal point in the study of river self-correction mechanisms. Jagana is one of the most majestic and mysterious limestone mountain areas located on the edge of the Tibetan Plateau, where nature creates huge stone walls like ancient fortresses. Some mountain peaks here rise above 13,000 feet, surrounding deep valleys and giving the feeling of stepping into a forgotten world from millions of years ago. What makes this place special is the strange shapes of the cliffs, like animal teeth, stone towers, or monster heads, all naturally formed over millions of years with no human touch. At sunrise or sunset, sunlight cuts through thick mist to create the glowing mountain effect, making the whole area shine in golden or fiery orange colors like a mythical landscape. The echo in this place can bounce back several times between the cliffs, making visitors feel like the stones are whispering to them. Jagana was once described by a German scientist as the most perfect natural stone city in Asia because of its steep cliffs and rock formations that resemble a forgotten prehistoric castle. Local people believe this is a sacred land where ancient spirits live and always show deep respect when walking through narrow mountain paths. Tashi-Do is one of the most majestic and surreal places set in the wild nature of the Tibetan Plateau. At more than 15,400 feet above sea level, this place offers not only a stunning view, but also a sky that feels close enough to touch, deep blue and endless. The nearby saltwater lake is one of the highest in the world, yet so clear that you can see the bottom even at more than 60 feet deep. The weather here changes quickly, bringing 3 seasons in one day: soft sunshine in the morning, cold winds at noon, and freezing temperatures at night. The island's rocky cliffs have strange shapes like dragon mouths or arms reaching for the sky, making some believe they are giant stone sculptures. At sunset, golden red light covers the lake and island, creating a glowing and magical view. The sound of the waves echoes like ancient singing, especially at night, adding to the mystery of the place. Jada Earth Forest is one of the rare and majestic ancient earth forests on the Tibetan Plateau, known for thousands of natural earth pillars and cliffs shaped over millions of years. These pillars can reach hundreds of feet high, looking like sharp towers, temples, or fossilized castles, making people think of an ancient city buried by time. The dryness and complete silence highlight the isolation of this place, where there are no trees or animal sounds, only the wind blowing through deep canyons. Local people have long believed this land is sacred, home to ancestral spirits and guardian gods. Many pilgrims think that in this silence they can hear the voice of the earth, a deep, steady sound from nature's core, like the heartbeat of the universe. Some stories tell about people getting lost among the pillars, but being strangely guided, as if helped by an invisible hand. The mix of strange geological landscapes and deep spiritual beliefs makes this place a one-of-a-kind destination that amazes and inspires visitors. Yubeng is a village hidden deep in the Meili Snow Mountain Range, located at an altitude of about 9,800 feet, surrounded by snow-covered peaks and vast ancient forests. There are no roads for vehicles here, and the only way to reach the village is by hiking or horseback through steep mountain paths, which keeps Yubeng isolated and well preserved. In winter, snow covers the wooden rooftops and trails, turning the whole village into a quiet fairy tale world in the forest. Besides its stunning beauty, Yubeng is also known for its deep spiritual traditions. Local people believe this is a sacred land protected by gods, where ancestral spirits live and watch over their descendants. Traditional rituals like meditation and prayer are still practiced with great respect. Some visitors said they felt a gentle energy around them, and some even dreamed of spiritual visions while sleeping in the village. Quona Lake sits at an altitude of about 15,900 feet and is one of the highest and most sacred freshwater lakes in the Tibetan region, known for its untouched nature and surreal beauty. Surrounding the lake are snowy mountains and wide grasslands, forming a majestic and quiet landscape in the open sky. In winter, the lake freezes completely and becomes a white mirror reflecting the sky, giving a magical feeling. What makes this place mysterious is the deep silence and peaceful energy that many visitors feel when standing by the lake. Tibetan people believe that Quona Lake is home to water spirits and a gateway to the spiritual world. They come here to meditate, pray, and perform purification rituals to cleanse their souls. Some people said they heard strange sounds in the air or saw the lake water changing colors at sunrise. Anye Maken is one of the most sacred and mysterious mountain ranges on the Tibetan plateau, where majestic landscapes mix with deep spiritual meaning to form a surreal world. Many peaks in this range rise above 2,000 feet and are covered in white snow all year, standing like eternal ice walls that separate people from the spiritual realm. The air here is thin, slowing the breath and sharpening awareness. Many people feel like they are entering a natural meditative state. The deep silence makes every sound, like footsteps or wind, echo clearly, as if touching the edge of the physical and the invisible. Wind passing through the mountain gaps makes a low, steady sound like ancient chanting, adding a sacred feeling to the space. Local legends say only those with spiritual connection can complete the journey to this place, and walking around the mountains is a test of spirit and respect. The night sky here is so bright that people can see thousands of stars and the Milky Way with their own eyes, making it feel like standing in the middle of the universe. Baima Snow Mountain is a majestic snow-covered range on the eastern edge of the Tibetan Plateau, with peaks rising from 18,000 to over 21,000 feet high. At the foot of the mountains, dense, temperate forests blend with high grasslands, home to rare plants that can only live in extreme climates. Along the mountain paths are prayer stone pillars and scripture walls built by local people over generations. Though small, these spiritual structures show deep belief in the mountain as a guardian god. A mysterious legend says that during rare blue moon nights, a white-robed figure can be seen standing still on the highest peak. Locals believe it is the spirit of an ancient monk who meditated hundreds of years ago and still exists as frozen light. Some climbers have said they felt a strange warmth coming from the snow around that spot, even though everything nearby was frozen. This story remains unexplained and is a key part of the mystical traditions surrounding Baima Snow Mountain. Yulong Snow Mountain Hidden Glacier is one of the most majestic hidden glaciers in the highlands, located over 18,000 feet above sea level and covered in white snow all year round. On clear days, sunlight hits the ice surface, making it sparkle like glass, reflecting the deep blue sky and the cold white snow. Around it are steep cliffs and untouched, snowy forests with no signs of cities or people, only the wind and the sound of melting ice echoing through the rocks. Along old mountain paths, visitors still find simple prayer stone pillars and main towers built by pilgrims centuries ago to ask for blessings while crossing this sacred land. A local legend says that on a bright moonlit night after a big snowstorm, a nomad saw the figure of a person in a white fur coat quietly walking on the ice before disappearing into the fog. This strange story lives on in the hearts of the local people, making this place both grand and mysterious. Yeren Cave is famous for having the highest number of reported sightings of a strange human-like creature in China. Locals and research teams have found giant footprints around 16 inches long, deeply pressed into the ground, far larger than normal human feet. The cave's inner structure is made of ancient limestone, forming bizarre stalactites shaped like human faces, giant hands, or creatures screaming. When sunlight hits the cave from a specific angle, a tall shadow appears in the beam of light, resembling a being hiding in the dark. Some visitors have reported feeling watched when going deep into the cave, even when walking in groups. Electronic devices like radios and wave detectors often lose signal at specific spots inside the cave for unknown reasons. Deep growling sounds are sometimes heard at night, like from a large animal, though no living creature has been found. Tianqi Crater is one of the highest volcanic crater lakes in Asia, located at about 7,200 feet above sea level. The lake is nearly perfectly circular, surrounded by steep cliffs and sharp mountain ridges that look like blades. The watercolor changes with the seasons and lighting, sometimes deep blue like a gemstone, sometimes reflecting the sky like a mirror. The lake is about 1,000 feet deep, making its bottom largely unexplored and adding to its mystery. Many people have reported seeing dark shapes moving under the water, leading to theories about mysterious lake creatures. Sometimes spiral-shaped clouds form right above the lake, as if opening a portal between heaven and earth. Formed by a massive volcanic eruption thousands of years ago, this place still preserves its natural grandeur and stands as a crossroads of geology, climate, and mysterious legends. Chaosu Ice Valley is one of the most impressive natural ice valleys in Asia, known for its extremely rare blue ice phenomenon. This happens when snow and ice are compressed under high pressure and low temperatures, removing air bubbles and allowing light to pass through with a glowing blue color. In winter, the whole valley turns into a surreal world of giant ice blocks, shaped like blades, crystal pillars, or ancient walls. During sunrise or sunset, the ice glows in soft purple or golden orange tones, creating a mysterious scene like another planet. Some of these ice blocks stay all year round, without needing any man-made preservation. This makes scientists compare it to a living laboratory for studying ice phenomena found on distant frozen planets. The mix of tough terrain, harsh climate, and rare ice formations has made Jiaosu Ice Valley a one-of-a-kind natural destination. Shuibao Mountain is one of the most majestic permanent snow mountains on the eastern edge of the Tibetan Plateau, standing about 18,300 feet tall. Snow covers it all year, creating a white fairy tale landscape between sky and earth. On clear days, sunlight reflects off the ice, making it sparkle like crystal. Steep and dangerous rock cliffs make reaching the top very difficult, even for expert climbers. A special scene called the Sea of Clouds often appears, where clouds float across the mountainside like a heavenly bridge. The area around the mountain is home to rare wild animals and plants, many of which only survive in cold and high places. Some plants found here are valuable medicinal herbs, making the place important for scientific research. The summit was first reached in 1986 and still draws nature lovers and adventurers today. It is a symbol for those who love extreme exploration and high-altitude challenges. With its mix of ancient geology, harsh weather, and rare ecosystems, Shuibao Mountain is like a living natural laboratory in the sky.